Things just automatically match your skin, and we don't think about it. But then for you, you get your pointe shoes, you have to color them if you go on stage to match your skin tone, and it's an extra step for you. It's not something that like we think about a lot of times. Hey, it's Josephine from the Pointe Shop, and I'm at Ballet West today, and I'm hanging out with Katlyn Addison, who is gorgeous, and her feet are so pretty, and we're going to be doing a pointe shoe fitting for a black ballerina. I feel like the ballet world is so far behind the rest of the world when it comes to diversity.
It is.
Yeah, so what was that experience like growing up as a black ballet dancer?
Well, in the school it was hard in the sense I had trouble finding people that looked like me.
Sure.
But when I was at the National Ballet School, they had like a big brother, big sister in the school, so she was Caribbean. So it was sort of a great, and I think she's actually a soloist with the National Ballet of Canada.
Yeah.
So that was nice to have her as my mentor growing up in the school. And then after that, I didn't really, the only person actually that I aspired and I really wanted to work with was Katlyn Addison. And luckily I was able to have her as my teacher when I joined Houston Ballet. So she would coach me, and she was on me like white on rice. Like she was so good, and became my coach, and still to this day my mentor.
We go for things that we see people that look like us pursue.
Yeah.
And that's so difficult. And I love that you were able to like put your blinders on when you fell in love with ballet, and you're like, this is what I'm going to do, even though you don't have a lot of people that you can look up to that look like you.
Yeah, exactly.
Some other girls watching you is saying the same thing, where it's like, oh wow, she looks like me, I can totally do this too.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your pointe shoes a little bit.
Yeah.
We take it for granted that it's pink.
Yeah. We do.
It's almost like having the Band-Aid, right? Like the Band-Aid is the flesh-colored Band-Aid, but for you, it's not.
Yeah.
Things just automatically match your skin, and we don't think about it.
Yeah.
But then for you, you get your pointe shoes, you have to color them if you go on stage to match your skin tone, and it's an extra step for you. It's not something that like we think about a lot of times. Just take a look at your feet. Can you stand up for me?
Yes.
Oh, beautiful. Okay, so you worked on your feet.
Yes.
You worked really hard on your feet.
Yes, I have, yeah.
Gorgeous. Wow, so your right foot is a lot more flexible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, can you go into parallel for me? Okay, very good. So she doesn't wear toe pads. So what we need to do is usually when you don't wear toe pads, we have to fit you a little bit tighter because the inside of your pointe shoe is symmetrical and your feet are not symmetrical. So there's all these empty spaces if you fit too loosely. So we have to fit it pretty tightly. And then the pointe shoe that she has, it's slightly tapered and it's a very narrow shoe. So even though you're probably like a width, maybe 2 if you were wearing toe pads, because you're not wearing toe pads, we want to make sure that everything is nice and tight in there. Yes. Okay, so I'm going to have you put on your pointe shoes. Okay, very good. And it's actually much easier to articulate your feet when your shoes are fitted tightly. Now this is more dancer's preference than everything. Obviously I'm not going to give you a shoe that fits like a bedroom slipper, and I want it to be pretty tight, but everyone likes their shoes in a different way. Demi-plie. Now do you feel like your toes are pressing the end at all?
No, they're just like they're
lightly touching.
Lightly touching, yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
And your big toe is the longest. Is it? Is that the one that's mainly touching the end?
Yes, that's the one that's mainly touching the end. Is my big toe.
That's perfect. So you don't want it to be curling or pressing. You just want it to be lightly touching at the very end. Now bring your left foot up on pointe. Beautiful. And then press up on both feet. So a lot of dancers that are in training, I leave a little bit more space at the end, but for Katlyn, because she likes her shoes tighter, like a lot of professional dancers do, there's barely any space. Step up onto pointe one more time. That's beautiful. And we kept her vamp really, really short because her toes are pretty short and she wants to be able to roll through. We want to make sure that there's enough space so that she's able to articulate through her feet all the way up. Can you go into parallel for me? Okay, beautiful. And then step up onto pointe. So when you're fitting pointe shoes with no toe pads, we're doing a slightly more tapered and slightly tighter shoe so that your feet are not moving around. Because if your feet are moving around too much, then you can get a lot of blisters, you can get a lot of injuries. So we want to make sure that everything is nice and tight. Now, the last thing that we want to do is we're going to actually color her pointe shoes. A lot of times she has to pancake her pointe shoes or color them in order for her skin tone to match the pointe shoe. Now, there's a couple other companies now that are coming out with the colored pointe shoes.
Yes.
But not all pointe shoe brands do that. Yeah. So in that case, we're gonna just use this.
Yeah.
And is this just makeup?
Yeah, I just use a liquid foundation. Right now, the winter season, I use a lighter shade because my skin is this pigment. And then usually in the summertime, I'll use the darker shade, which is the deep rich, and then the other one is deep golden. Or in the middle of the season, I'll actually mix the two together. So I'll just show you what I do usually when I mix it together.
Yeah.
I shake it up a little bit, and then I put just right there on I feel like the best way to figure out your skin shade or color is by putting it on your skin, and then I mix it together.
Beautiful.
And then I'll just start, painting it on.
And this is actually the closest you can get to your skin color is if you just use makeup.
Yeah.
Now there's other paint companies now that you can use, but I think this is actually the most accurate. So if you can figure out just like your regular makeup that works for your skin tone, then you can definitely do this. And if you just wanted to even go a little bit matte, then you can just pancake your shoes with your skin tone too. So a lot of performances require your shoes to be a little bit more matte.
Exactly.
Yeah, so thank you so much for showing us your pointe shoes and how you color them and your beautiful feet. If you guys have any questions, I'm going to link all of Katlyn's social on this video so that you can follow her and you can follow her journey at Ballet West. And if you have any questions, leave that on the comments and I will answer that the best way I can. And until next time, I'll see you guys soon.
See ya.